Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable podcast. We're your hosts, Susan Robbins, certified epigenetic human performance coach,
and Kate King, licensed psychotherapist, board-certified art therapist, and award-winning author. Together, we bring two perspectives, two styles, and one shared passion for epigenetics.
On this podcast, we delve into topics such as environment, nutrition, fitness, mindset, social dynamics, and trauma as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone.
We recognize that everyone's needs are unique. There are no one-size-fits-all solutions for your mind, body, and heart. The true magic lies within you.
So if you're ready to create a radiant life through epigenetics and reclaim your authentic self, then buckle up. Here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable mini podcast. This is what we do once a week. I am your host, Susan Robbins, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
I am Kate King, and today we are talking to you about friendship allergies. Have you heard of this before? It's basically like your food allergy, or I'm allergic to penicillin, so I'm not going to take the stuff. Just like we avoid certain things that our body's allergic to, we can avoid certain types of connections or certain types of qualities in friendship so that we don't lead ourselves down the road of friendship with someone who is ultimately not a good fit for us. Have you ever heard of this before, Susan?
I haven't heard of it, but it totally makes sense that like when you have the histamine bucket and you keep eating foods that are high histamine or histamine releasing, and that bucket overflows, and then you start to have, for some people, a very severe allergy to anaphylactic shock. For others, it could be stuffiness, itching, burning in the mouth, hives. It's too much, right? So it makes sense of when something doesn't feel good in a friendship that it like creates these nasty feelings because your bucket's just too much and you have to limit.
Yeah.
So I love the kind of theory that you're going to go into about this.
Yeah, it gives us, and it's not my theory, by the way. I can't remember in the moment who I heard this from, and I will look it up and maybe we can add it in the show notes a little bit later. But when I did hear it, I was like, oh, what a great analogy to have a friendship allergy, just like any other allergy, because I've certainly had that experience where I feel a level of intolerance to certain qualities in people. And I'll name a few of them. Like we talked in our larger podcast this week about reciprocity. So I have learned as I've done more of my personal healing work and I've gotten deeper into touch with the types of people who I need in my life, lack of reciprocity is an allergy for me. I cannot have friends have a one-sided approach to friendship. I cannot have friends who are looking for a therapist in friendship. I need to have friends who give and take. Another allergy of mine is when friendships use a lot of sarcasm. It doesn't work for me because I'm a sensitive little daisy and I tend to take things personally. So I know that some people love sarcasm and they banter and they love it. For me, it's an allergy. So I don't attract to that. What are some of your allergies in friendship?
Definitely the lack of reciprocity, the let's get together, and then so I guess it'd be lack of action, where you don't hear, and I'm always the one reaching out or trying to get things together. That's probably a really big one for me. The other is too sensitive, where I can't be myself. Like I'm walking on eggshells, afraid that I'm going to say something that's going to set somebody off when I'm just being me, and it's never coming from a malicious, mean or anything standpoint. I'm just verbal. I just verbalize and I'm done. So someone where I feel like I walk eggshells. That's a really, really hard one.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that absolutely with your personality because you've done so much work around showing up and owning how big you are and how you like to take up a certain amount of space and you don't want that to be crunched. And so I can absolutely understand how that would be important to you. And I think this is good to exemplify. Like I just told people I'm sensitive Daisy and you said I don't to be around people who are too sensitive. And that right there is a good example of how there are no right or wrong friendship allergies. They are specific to each person. And it's not about changing what your friendship allergies are to be more likable or to get along with more people. It's about owning what your friendship allergies are so that you can find the right people. And maybe out of a room of 100 people, there's only going to be 5 people that you connect with, but those 5 people are really aligned for you and they're going to help with your own genetic expression by
Mhm.
healthy hormones and neurotransmitters through your body that creates a ripple effect cascade that ultimately helps protect you from illness and disease and keeps your mental health really strong and stable. And so it might be that your friendship allergy is really unique and there's a certain thing that just drives you nuts about having friends with that quality, and it's okay. Not everyone has to agree about what their friendship allergies are. They just have to be honest about what they are.
But even as we talked about our friendship allergies, what is it what's the common theme is not allowing you to be you, right? So it's me being able to just say how I feel because I don't think. I have a bit of a filter. I don't say things mean. It's again perception differs with people. And for you, it's you want to make sure that people are like that you can be a little more quiet or be able to I don't see you as super sensitive. I see you as more thoughtful.
Mhm.
So I think there's a difference there. Like you feel like you have more sensitivity, but I think of you as more thoughtful. Even when we were interviewing each other or guests, I always look at when I'm looking at you, I see you. It's like I can see the hamsters rolling in there of how you want to put something. If you look at me, there's no hamsters. It's just look at my house.
Funny. And we're a good example of this too, because even with these differences, we're still friends. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you can't be friends with somebody like this. It just means your friendship gets to be conscious at a new level. And so we talked about this in our bigger podcast this week about this, how we navigated our dynamic to find our vibe. And so I think absolutely. And also we grow and change so much through the lifespan. The things that I used to look for and tolerate in friends, some of those things I don't do anymore as I've gotten older, as I've gotten healthier. I used to be attracted to friends who mirrored a really unhealthy primary relationship that was in my family of origin that I have since walked away from and closed the door on. And now I don't have friends that have that same dynamic anymore. Where before I used to have friends that were playing out that familiar dynamic because I think on some level, I was ultimately trying to figure out that family dynamic through my friendships, and it was all very unconscious. But now, if a person shows up and they embody those qualities of that really toxic family member that I have fought very hard to break free from,
Yeah.
I'm allergic to it. I'm going to run the other
Yeah.
way. And it doesn't mean I'm going to be unkind. I'll always be kind and respectful to everyone, but I'm not going to invite them over for tea. I'm not going to.
No, and I think it was they're familiar, and we'll tend to move towards people that are remind us of somebody subconsciously, even if it's not too healthy. I hung with a group of people that, it was a lot of the Me Too stuff and complaining about the same things, and I realized that wasn't healthy. It was everybody trying to one up the other on all the shit that had happened in their lives, and that's not that's not the type of circle that I wanted to be in. So and again, like we've talked about it, I think the difference is that awareness of what you're choosing and why.
Right.
And we hold on to relationships or we hold on to these friendships that just as we start talking about allergy, it was just so funny because first I started itching, then you saw me sneeze twice. What the hell? But these maybe it's just thinking about this. But
You're having a psychosomatic
a
response to the
psychosomatic
conversation.
response, right?
Yeah.
And but we get to where this is like a norm to us, and we don't look any deeper as to why am I accepting this thing that's giving me this person that basically gives me hives, not feeling good. And the funny thing is I used to be the very sensitive one. And I didn't say my truth. I was always louder. I've always been more in your face, but I curbed so much of how I felt and I wouldn't say it. Now I do. So the people that I want to be around are those that might joke with me and go, "Yeah, we know that's going to come out of Susan's mouth," or "Stand back because we don't know what's going to happen." And it's a joke, but they get me. And they appreciate that that's who I am. And with you, we know that you are the more delicate flower, and that's what we appreciate and love about you, that this is where you are. Right?
And it's
Now
something to protect and cherish, not something to steamroll and change. Because when we feel like we
right.
change the people in our lives, that is always the red flag, right? It's about seeing people for who they are and either accepting them or choosing not to. And that's okay. You can either have that person in your life or not, but you can't change them, right? And so that's a fundamental issue is like you feel the friendship allergy and you try to supersede it, that every single time will not result well for you. And really, like we talked about in our bigger podcast this week, the 3 levels of friendship where it's utility, pleasure, and purpose. So you might have a friendship allergy for someone of purpose where your deep friendships cannot have this, say, flaky quality. But in a utility or a friend of pleasure, sure, they can be flaky. It's not the end of the world. So
Yep.
friendship
Yeah.
allergies differ depending on the depth, intensity, and quality of the friendship as well.
And I flaky is the perfect word you used, because flaky is that's anaphylactic level for me. Is a flaky true friend, like one that you don't know if you can depend on them. And in a true friendship, I want people I can depend on, because I know that I am 1,000% there for people. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But hopefully you guys got something out of this to tag on to the longer one that we just did on friendship. Go to our Facebook group. No one's chatting in there. Start the conversation. I'm trying. Like, tell us, give us some feedback. Let us know who you'd like to see. We have some great guests coming up. But thank you for tuning in. Share this. The Facebook group is Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable Podcast Chat Group. So come and join us and let's have some fun conversations. Get out there, make it a great day, be your most authentic selves. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast.
If you enjoyed this week's episode, we'd love for you to share it, leave a review or comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Help us get this information out to everyone who could benefit, and we'll keep bringing you the content you crave.
You can also check out our podcast site at everydayepigenetics.co and sign up for our newsletter to stay updated on upcoming episodes. The link is in the show notes.
If you're interested in DNA or epigenetic coaching with Susan, or Radiant Life Coaching for deep inner work with Kate, our contact info is in the show notes below.
Now go and make it a great day and let your most authentic self shine.